Hmm?
Can I?
Yes, yes.
Let's say I'm closing my eyes, and there is a thought coming, like yeah, but I see that thought, then I'm not that thought, but the mind wants to grab it. Just keep attention on that I, and that's it. Like, I see that thought I, so I'm holding attention on my, like, I see I. So I just let it be that I, as long as it wants to be, not try to do with that anything, right? I'm closing the eyes, and like, and then the thought comes, I. I know it's like, so it's a thought, and it's not me.
That's enough.
So, but the thought might be kind of pushy. I'm just letting that thought be.
If you see that thought is gone, means this is not I, it's a thought.
Yeah, it's a thought, but like, it's a thought, but it might stay. Like I. Very simple.
This thought I means I am the body. That thought disappears. What remains of the mind is just a mere knowledge of being. It's a mere knowledge of being.
Got it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. The thing is that you speak, you ask a question, and you give yourself an answer, and you expect me to say, yes, it's true. And I can't do that. Okay, you close your eyes, and the thought I pops up.
Yeah.
But what is the I thought means? This is an I, a self that is a thought. What thought? Body. I am the body. See, I am the body.
Mm.
That's the mind.
So I'm just letting it.
Then the mind drops that body identity. What remains is I am.
Like me.
No, that's the problem there. That's not me. That is still is your reflection, is the purest reflection of yourself. Coming from I amness, if you want to call it like that. Sense of self, sense of being. Being what? Just being. But it still is a reflection of yourself. Are you following? There is no such thing as will stay here. The way you put it is funny. And then the I stays like, what is that? The thought I means I am the body. That thought, that belief, that idea, that concept. I am the body. Obviously, this I, this self, this being, this person, this individual, this ego is a thought. This I is a thought, right? When that thought disappears, it remains an I free from thoughts. But this I free from thoughts, this thoughtless being, is still is the purest reflection of the self, right? It's like the moon. Have you seen the moon during the day?
Sometimes.
Full moon, and you still see the moonlight, yes?
Yeah. No. During the day, moonlight? No.
Yes. Haven't you seen that?
I mean, just moon. Yeah.
You can see the full moon during the daytime.
Yeah.
This is the pure, this is the mind, this is the I am, see? But you know that this is not the one that illumines the world. It's not the one that is illumining, right?
Okay.
It's reflecting the light of the sun, right?
Yeah.
And the mind stays like that. It's basically, this is why it is called, the mind is pure light, free from identity is pure light. Pure light means sense of self, sense of being. I am what? Nothing. I am. But there is something that sees this I amness. What sees this I amness? I am. You are. Are you following?
So it's kind of, let's like, yeah, put it in. There is mind, then there is pure mind, which sees the ego, and then there is self, which sees the pure mind and the ego.
The pure mind doesn't even see itself. There is nothing in the universe. I repeat myself. It happens that it comes here and I don't know. There is nothing in the universe that is self-aware.
It's just awareness.
Sorry?
It's just awareness.
What do you mean by that? You're already running too fast. There is nothing that knows that it is. Are you following? Neither the body, nor the mind, nor the energy, nor nothingness. There is only one knower. There is one absolute knower. This is the absolute knower that knows everything, right? But it doesn't even know itself. It is itself. I'm making, pay attention, don't run away from the conversation. Pay attention because you're getting closer, right? But immediately you draw conclusions too quickly, that's all. I am the body. When the mind is free from thoughts, even the thought I am the body is absent. So the mind is free from thoughts, right? The mind is thoughtless, right? There's a thoughtless state, but still it's a state of mind. Call it samadhi if you wish. It still is a mental state. That mental state makes obvious that there is something there beyond this I amness, beyond this beingness. It doesn't say I or I am, and yet it's I. Are we getting somewhere? Hello?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
No, you don't try to. This is the good Lord. Just listen. Don't try to figure it out. If you don't try to figure it out, you will. If you don't try to figure it out, you will realize it as you hear it. As you hear it. How do you know that the mind is quiet? Who knows the mind is quiet? I. So you must be already beyond quiet mind. The mind is still, but it still is present. But this mind, you cannot call it anything anymore. You cannot even call it mind because what is it, right? The mind lost its sense of individuality, its sense of separation. That mind is basically the self. Okay, you look at yourself in the mirror, you keep quiet. The reflection is also quiet, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the silence of the reflection is not real. Let's call it quiet mind. The one that is truly silence, not even in silence, but truly silence, is what sees a reflection in the mirror. His mind is reflection, projection, reflection, manifestation, right? This only disappears when the body disappears. In the same way, the reflection in the mirror disappears only when the mirror is broken. As long as the mirror is there, the reflection will be there. So as long as the body is there, the reflected light of the self will be projected on it, it will appear on it. This is the dead mind. This is the mind of the sage. It's dead. It's useless. It is as useless as the light emanating from the sun during the day is useless. Because the one that is illuminating is the sun. Right?
From the moon.
From the moon, yes. So you don't need the moonlight to illumine the world when the sunlight is there, right? So it is the mind of the sage. It's useless.
And
When you try to figure it out, that is the problem there.
I understood it.
That's the problem there and then. Just listen. If you're trying, your mind is active. If you're listening, listening will quiet the mind. If you pay attention to what I say, even if you pay attention to me, you cannot pay attention to two things at the same time. The mind cannot think about two things at the same time. If you pay attention, right? Listen, pondering, and you will find yourself even reflecting on that by itself without you trying. See?
This trying
This is you listen. You may be walking in the street back home. You may be sitting in the toilet at home. And what you heard will show up, see? Without you trying. Right? And it begins to work within you. Right? Until eventually something does click. Anything you try won't help you. You see it?
staying quiet, stay silent.
You said that you see the mind. Whether the mind is active or quiet, you see it, yes or no?
Yes. Because either it's dull.
Whether it's dull, active, or pure, you see it.
Yes.
Then
And then just wait.
wait for what? You just see it.
Just okay, yeah. Not
Don't-
waiting.
But
Just
don't wait anything. Waiting is the mind again. The mind is going to be there waiting, doing something called waiting, right? Waiting for what? What the mind will get waiting? Nothing. The mind will never see the self. It's waiting to see the self. It can't. It's like the moon is waiting to see the sun. Can't. It can't even see the light coming from the sun. It can only reflect it. Mhm. Neither the mirror can produce a reflection, nor the reflection nor the mirror can see the body. So neither the body nor the mind will get nothing out of it. The self will reveal itself by itself, to itself, as you, as your own self, as I. This is why I say seek the seer, right? Which is I, yes or no? That appears to be the mind, yes or no? Is you to see the seer means to be what sees the seer. Okay? If you see the seer, you find out this seer is false. Cannot be what actually sees, because it is seen, right? It is known, it is witnessed, if you wish. Now the mind remains, say, as cognition, if you wish, perception, if you want to call it like that, as body consciousness, so to speak. Use ways of speech.
Yes, it's normal, yeah, but I feel really so much sorry about that I'm asking so stupid questions.
That's also thought.
No, it's a feeling, I mean.
The feeling is produced by thought.
It's another game.
It's another mind game. See?
But it helps to stop it.
Huh?
It helps to stop it.
What do you mean help to stop it? What difference does it make if you feel that you are asking a stupid question or making clever statements? It's the same me. It's a stupid me and a clever me. Still is a self made out of thought. Still is the I thought. Still is the mind, person, individual, ego. Mm. There's another mental process, spontaneous, right? And in that thought process, the sense of individuality is absent. It's not personal. It's not person. There's no feeling of a person. See,
There is just feeling.
it's just is feeling, whatever you like to call it. Because mine is energy. So it is felt. It's a feeling. It's a sensation. It's a phenomenon. En caso de que no, ya, 17. Learning. So you may be free from thoughts, right? But still you are not free from the thought I, because the thought I is doing something to free itself from something, or to free itself from itself. Are you following? There is a very subtle trial there, huh? Very subtle.
Mind identifying itself with the thought I.
No, the mind is not identifying itself as a thought I. The mind is the thought I.
Uh-huh.
The mind is identification.
Yeah.
Mm. Otherwise, we create a self, right? That exists before it appears. It doesn't add up. So this I must be genuinely. English is getting bad now. Must be really quiet. See?
You mean the I, which is identification.
Genuinely, Bernie? Kind of. That's good. Sorry?
You mean the I, which is identification.
Yes, you should be completely still, not trying anything, including not trying not to try. Because it tries not to try also.
To make it still, is it fine to focus on myself?
Just look at it.
Yeah, okay.
The mind is like a child that is misbehaving. You give a good stern look to the child comes still.
Memory is from that.
Memory is also mind. It's one aspect of the mind.
Yeah, it always wants to give me something.
Intellect is also an aspect of the mind. Beliefs also. Tendencies also. All that collectively is mind. Identification is mind. The aspect of the mind that will disappear is the identification, and with it, the tendencies. The ideas and the belief. The memory that remains is just the knowledge that you need to keep for the practicality of daily life, right? And the intellect will work only in a very subtle way to discriminate between table and chair, blue and green, right and left, this and that, rice and potato, and so on. You may even forget that. Struggle to remember it, but it's okay. It's there. The memory doesn't disappear. You may get suspended. If you lose your memory, do you lose yourself? Then So you are with or without knowledge? Be still and know that you are that. See, be still, and when the mind is still, that reveals itself as yourself. This is so bloody simple. Why I cannot be still? Well, here we go. All the wrong knowledge and wrong interpretations and concepts and desires and beliefs and tendencies. And you can't, even if you try, you can't. All that has to exhaust itself while it is seen, while being. The more you realize you are that, then as that, all that begins to dissolve within yourself because you are its source. You are the source, substratum, the witness, and where all that eventually dissolves. So you cannot accelerate the process or deaccelerate it or escape it or improve it or make it easier or more light, nothing.
Will be as it
It's
is.
gonna be the hell there's gonna be, or whatever it is there, it's gonna be, and something is gonna happen, so that can show up, and that's it. There's no way out, there is no escape from anything. Because as more as you try to run away from your shadow, it's still you turn around, it still is there. You just can't see it, but it is there. Shadow will disappear when the sun sets. See, when the reflected light is gone, then the shadow will go. As long as it is an object, the reflected light of the cell will get associated with it. When you know it is a shadow, then you know you don't care. Why should I be worried about my own shadow? Why should I be afraid of my own shadow? Or you are not afraid of your own mind, thoughts, and images, and ideas, and tormented with your.
ego is hanging. Is it possible? Let's say I did mistakes. Yeah, or I see my,
I did.
yeah, I see my, let's say now, running pattern,
You what?
running pattern,
Yeah, yes,
or let's say mistakes from the past.
yes.
Uh,
Whose mistakes? Did that person ever existed?
I think yes.
I think yes, exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem. Good deeds, bad deeds. Belonging to whom? That's the question. If it never existed, so never ever happened. See?
Sorry to ask, but have you heard
Yes. Have what?
about the Chinese gymnastics called Qigong?
What about Qigong? Yes, I heard about it.
Is it normal? I mean, to do that? Or...
Where are we going? Are we going to do Qigong now? Or... Jesus Christ. If you want to do Qigong, see, do Qigong, Qigong, do whatever you want. See, in the meantime, find out, look for the doer while the action is performed. There is no question about playing baseball, Qigong, cards with you, rooming with your child. Who is the doer? That's the question. The action, let the body do whatever it whatever it wants to, whatever it wants, no, whatever it does, it will spontaneously move. It doesn't matter. In the meantime, let's see who is doing the action.
Mhm.
And if you find it, just let me know. I will be very excited to meet the doer. How can you shake your hand to a sword? Say, nice to meet you, Mr. Doer. Finally, I get to meet you. I heard about you for so long. I thought you didn't exist. Apart from the thought I am doing, where is the doing? And where is the doer?
The action might happen. But if I'm taking, if there is an identification or sense of benefit out of that action, then that action is corrupted and it's not like working. I mean, it might work, might not, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever, exactly. Leave it like that. Whatever. Stay with the whatever. Forget about these new people that it's in the techno something. El micrófono, por favor.
Hola, hola,
Hola, ¿qué tal?
hola, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien,
Ok, me gustaría hacer una par de preguntas.
seguro.
Ok, ¿cómo se logra calmar la mente y estar en el momento presente?
Al revés, si te mantienes en el momento presente, es decir, solamente poniendo la atención a lo que sucede en este momento, la mente se calma. Pero no pero no, así no se destruye la mente. Se calma, sí, pero no se disuelve. ¿Me sigues?
Sí, sí, estoy anotando.
O sea, una cosa es la mente calma, una mente quieta, y otra cosa es una mente muerta.
Ujú. Ok, entonces funciona mucho la meditación y la introspección.
Muerte quiere decir que desaparece como la idea de que es lo que uno es, desaparece. De que uno es la mente, desaparece.
Ok, ok, muy bien. Sí. ¿Y cómo se conoce en realidad el ser yo?
Cuando la mente está completamente quieta. Cuando la mente está completamente quieta, se empieza a revelar un trasfondo de silencio, que es donde la mente está o activa o quieta, donde la mente aparece y desaparece.
Ujú.
Y te das cuenta que eso que está allí, ese trasfondo, es aquello que ve a la mente, es el testigo de la mente. ¿Me sigues?
Sí,
Porque si la mente está quieta o está activa, tiene que haber un testigo, ¿cierto?
sí. Tiene que haber un espectador.
Correcto. Se empieza a hacer obvio, se empieza a
¿Mande?
revelar, ¿sí? El espectador como lo que uno es, ¿sí? Se empieza a revelar a sí mismo, ¿sí? Por sí mismo, no porque hagas nada, sino por sí mismo, ¿sí? No por el esfuerzo mental, la práctica de ninguna índole. Queda al descubierto. Cuando quitas el velo, ¿ok? Lo que está detrás del velo queda descubierto, ¿cierto? No aparece ahora como algo nuevo, sino que queda descubierto. El velo es los pensamientos.
Oh, sí, entiendo que uno no son los pensamientos. Ujú. Ok, sí, sería todo.
Observa la mente, no te vayas todavía. Observa la mente, ¿m? Y al observador de la mente.
Soy yo mismo.
Exacto.
Sí.
En
Y
el sueño
entonces,
profundo no ves,
entonces,
no ves ni al cuerpo ni a la mente, ¿verdad?
entonces así se evita se evita la perturbación del exterior,
¿Se evita qué?
se evita la perturbación del exterior.
Sí, la mente no reacciona, al menos no exageradamente. Sí.
Sí, y así las cosas empiezan a fluir un poco mejor.
Ah. No, no necesariamente.
Ok. Ah, entonces entiendo que está sujeto a interpretación personal.
Claro, la gente está esperando como resultado, está esperando un resultado y el resultado es que las cosas fluyan, que vaya mejor, que sea más agradable, menos difícil, menos pesado, pero realmente no. Mi experiencia no dice que eso sea así. Si no, mira la vida de los santos, sabios y videntes del pasado, así Jesús, Buda, todo. Pasaron por la vida de Jesús no fluyó tanto, pues de que la de Sócrates tampoco. ¿Sí? Puede que sí, puede que no. Hay un balance ahí entre agradable y desagradable. Hasta que esa cuota no se pague, es decir, no se agote, entonces el cuerpo no cesa de existir. Porque todo fluye, sí, pero habría que definir fluye, ¿sí? Tienes que tener una idea preconcebida de lo que es el fluir. Y esa idea tiene que ser agradable. Deja que todo fluya. Si te da cáncer, deja que el cáncer fluya también, ¿verdad? Si te da un dolor de muela y tienes que sacarte cuatro, pues déjalo que fluya, ¿sí? Que fluya la mano del dentista, ¿sí? Jalando las muelas hasta que... Sí. Mm. Déjalo que fluya. Que el dolor fluya. Te fuiste, pon la cámara de nuevo, no te vayas. Levanta la mano por ahí. El micrófono está abierto, la cámara está apagada. ¿Me sigues?
Sí, aquí estoy. Sí, sigo aquí, ¿sí me escucha?
Aquí está Alex, pregunta y pregunta, pues déjalo que fluya. Así.
El mundo fue puesto delante de los ojos para no hacernos ver lo que tenemos arriba.
¿Ah?
Que si el mundo fue puesto delante de nuestros ojos para no ver lo que tenemos arriba.
¿De acuerdo con quién dijo eso? El mundo, los ojos no son parte del mundo. ¿Sí entiendes lo que te quiero decir? Los ojos le pertenecen al cuerpo, ¿cierto? ¿Sí o no?
Sí,
Ahí, no, ¿sí me oyes?
sí, sí, a lo que me refería. El mundo fue puesto delante de nuestros ojos para no ver lo que tenemos arriba.
Arriba dónde, ¿qué hay arriba? Arriba dónde, a ver. No, le hago la pregunta a ver, a ver a dónde llegamos. ¿Arriba a dónde? ¿Y de dónde viene ese concepto, esa idea? Se volvió a ir. Vamos a ver si te entiendo y a ver si tú me entiendes. La idea del diálogo es a ver si se produce un entendimiento, ¿no? No quedarnos ahí. Ah, bueno, déjalo así. Entonces, ¿arriba dónde?
Arriba,
¿Qué es eso que
que
no pudimos ver?
sí, la conciencia,
Ok. Puede haber mundo sin conciencia. Estamos indagando juntos, ¿no? Estamos tratando de entender esto juntos. ¿Sí o no? Puede haber algo sin conciencia. Hay conciencia de cuerpo, hay conciencia de mente, hay conciencia de energía. A veces hay conciencia de nada, como en el sueño profundo, ¿no? Quien sea que haya de todo o nada, siempre hay conciencia. ¿Te das cuenta de eso?
sí,
¿Y quién es consciente de ahora de todo y quién es consciente de nada en el sueño profundo? ¿Mm? ¿Qué te dice la lógica, no? Tu propio entendimiento, tu propia razón.
Es en base a la experiencia de uno mismo.
Exactamente. O sea, uno mismo es ahora consciente de todo y luego consciente de nada, ¿verdad?
Sí,
Entonces, uno mismo es eso que es consciente, es eso que es conciencia. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que no te permite darte cuenta de eso? La mente. ¿Qué es la mente? Un pensamiento. ¿Cuál es ese pensamiento? Yo. Yo, ¿qué quiere decir cuerpo? ¿Sí? Yo soy el cuerpo. El pensamiento yo soy el cuerpo no te deja darte cuenta de que yo soy conciencia. Por eso hay que eliminar el yo pensamiento o el pensamiento yo para lo que quede, para que quede, ¿sí? Lo que yo soy, ¿sí? Develado tal cual y como es. ¿Sí me explico? ¿Me oyes?
sí,
Observa ese pensamiento yo, ¿sí?
yo.
Y vas a dar cuenta, no, obsérvalo, no lo pienses, obsérvalo. Y te vas a dar cuenta que mientras lo observas, desaparece. Al igual que la oscuridad, desaparece lo que prendes la luz.
Ese yo es el ego.
Correcto. Ego, persona, individuo, eh, mente.
Ok, entiendo. Entonces el ego se manifiesta en distintos tipos de papeles de uno mismo. Por ejemplo, identificación con algo o alguien.
Es como un camaleón, ¿sí?
Ok.
Que
Sí,
toma,
sí, entiendo. Asume papeles de actor, ¿no?
correcto. Y todo eso basado en identificación con el cuerpo. Si yo soy hijo, yo soy padre, yo soy hermano, yo soy amigo, ¿ah?
Ok, entiendo.
Yo,
Entonces,
yo soy un hombre, yo soy venezolano, yo soy cristiano, yo soy así, yo soy asado. ¿Mm? Luego me
ok,
identifico con el conocimiento acumulado en el cuerpo, ¿sí? O a través del cuerpo, las experiencias, el pasado, ¿sí? O
ok,
estudias algo, yo soy ingeniero, yo soy arquitecto, yo soy, ¿sí? Yo soy y le agregas algo, ¿sí?
sí, entiendo. Entonces, para eso se necesitaría otra persona. Por ejemplo, actuar de una forma con mi madre y actuar de una forma distinta con un amigo o alguien diferente.
El problema no es el comportamiento, el problema es la identificación.
Oh,
¿Mm? Y tú puedes jugar cualquier papel en la vida. Es como que tú eres un actor y tú puedes jugar con el rol que te den, ¿cierto? Y lees tu libreto, ¿sí? Pero sería tonto que a lo que termine la obra sigas creyendo que eres el rol que estaba jugando. ¿Mm?
sí.
¿Sí o no?
Ok, vendría siendo yo como el director de lo que yo creo que soy.
Realmente eres el director, el libreto, el guión, los personajes, el escenario, las luces, el vestuario, todo. ¿Ok? Pero todavía vamos por partes.
Sí,
Imagínate que yo soy, no sé, actuando el papel de Romeo. Romeo, Julieta, Julieta. y termina la obra de teatro y me voy para la casa todavía, Julieta, Julieta. Sí,
O si termina creyéndoselo.
exactamente.
Y creo que lo que me hace falta más es partir desde la simplicidad del ser y de las cosas, supongo.
No, con que te des cuenta de lo que es la mente es suficiente.
No,
Darte cuenta de lo que es la mente es darte cuenta de lo que realmente eres. Matas dos pájaros de un tiro. ¿Sí? Darte cuenta de la ilusión es darte cuenta que es la realidad de la ilusión. ¿Sí? El testigo de la ilusión. ¿Sí? El testigo es real, lo atestiguado es ilusorio. La idea del testigo también desaparece cuando te das cuenta de que lo atestiguado y el testigo son inseparables, no son dos. Entonces, ¿quién es el testigo de qué? Ahí se acaba todo. La idea de testigo también desaparece. Y ahí ya no queda ninguna idea, ¿sí? De ser ni esto ni lo otro. La idea de ser el testigo también tiene que desaparecer.
ok,
Cualquier idea de ser, ¿sí? Cualquier idea de mí mismo tiene que desaparecer, incluyendo la de testigo.
entonces en conclusión sería yo soy la experiencia en sí.
No, no, sin conclusión. Es el estado de que, estamos hablando del estado donde las conclusiones, los conceptos, las ideas, las creencias, los pensamientos simplemente no surgen.
Mm, ok, sí, solo son eso, pensamientos.
Donde simplemente se es. ¿Qué? No sé. ¿Qué soy? No sé. ¿Qué es lo que no soy? Tampoco sé.
Ujú.
Porque
Sí, entonces,
si no tenemos otra vez la idea de dos, lo que soy y lo que no soy.
sí. Entonces de ahí viene la inquietud de la mente de querer encontrar una respuesta rápida de qué soy y qué no soy.
La pregunta ¿quién soy yo? No tiene respuesta. La pregunta ¿quién soy yo? ¿Sí? Disuelve al que pregunta.
Mm,
No hay respuesta, no hay... Sí, realmente todo esto son formas de explicar algo, pero la
ok.
indagación no resulta nada, ¿sí? Porque no,
No, Silvia, porque van a empezar a...
no crear algo, si no va a aparecer algo, ¿sí? Porque ya es, el ser ya es la totalidad, ¿sí?
Atestiguar.
No, atestiguar todavía te vas a quedar atestiguando algo. Todavía va a haber la idea de que hay algo aparte de ti, separado de ti, diferente de ti, que es atestiguar.
Mm,
¿Se fue? Otra vez, así le cayó. No se le cayó. Simplemente se es ni esto ni lo otro. Ni el testigo ni la testigada. Como decía Ramana, be, just be, sé, simplemente sé. Y no pienses que eres, sé, ya eres, sé lo que eres. Sí. Vive la mente quieta, ya no importa. Hay que dejar a un lado hasta el samadhi y todo. El tratar de aquietar a la mente, el tratar de... Aunque sepas qué es lo que es la mente, sí, así decía Ramana, ¿no? La mejor forma de destruir a la mente es darse cuenta que no existe tal cosa llamada mente. La forma de controlarla, darse cuenta de que no existe. De que no tiene existencia separada, es lo que quiere decir. De que no es un ser un ente como tal, independiente, sí. Un ente independiente, separado, individual, sí. Se acaba. Sí. Habit. ¿Ah?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm okay. I had a bit of a spate of fever and things like that over Christmas.
And what? Sorry.
Had a bit of a series of, like flu-y COVID type of things over Christmas.
Sorry to
But
hear that.
yeah, it's slowly coming okay. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I was hearing what you're saying about the mind doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a concrete question, but I mean, thoughts come to me, thoughts come to other people, but my collection of thoughts is sort of unique. to me and my circumstances and my history, my surroundings, that is what makes it feel like there's some being or entity. You're saying there's not, but can you explain a little more so I can kind of really concrete that knowledge? Because
This
it's
self cannot be real because it's a thought. This is called the I thought. See? This I, this self, this person, this individual is a thought. It's made out of thought, so it doesn't actually exist. In deepest sleep, it disappears, right? It's gone.
Yeah.
So if it appears and disappears, it cannot be real. It cannot be I. When it disappears, I am. Because in deep sleep, I am. But the thought I is not there. This is why it's called I thought. And the self is called I am. See? To differentiate between one and the other.
Can you say that again? Sorry.
This is why, see, in English they say the mind is called I thought and the self is called I am. See? To differentiate one from the other.
I never heard that before.
Huh?
I didn't ever hear that before.
Ah, yes, well, Ramana said that, for example. See, the truth is I am this and that, right? It's an illusion, right? That's the mind. This and that means thought. Base body identity is there. See, I am Caesar, right? I am like this or like that. See,
That way,
I-
yeah. That.
I, the body, and then you attach more stuff, this and that, like this, like that. See?
Yeah.
Characteristics, attributes, also thought. Right? First thought, I. I means body. So if I means body, it's not real. Because I is not body, right? It's not mind. It's not phenomenal, right?
When you say something's not real, does that mean it's not permanent? Or
Yeah,
what is
that doesn't mean it's not there. If you see the ocean, right, and you see a wave, is a wave real?
to me the wave is real, yes.
Yes.
But in that moment only.
Exactly. And now, is that wave separate from the ocean, different from the ocean?
No.
So the wave is the ocean, right?
Yes, part of the ocean, yes.
Not part. It is the ocean, right? Because you cannot split, you cannot take a knife and divide the ocean in parts, right? Or slices of waves, right?
Yeah.
So you don't deny that the wave is there, right? Or is denied that the wave is separate from the ocean. In reality, the wave is the ocean, right?
Yes.
So in reality, the world, the mind, and the energy that produce that are the self. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's not real, and yet it's not separate. So there is not really a wave, right? There is really the ocean, right? That is the meaning of Sankaracharya's words. See? Brahman alone is real, the world is an illusion. And then he says, the world is Brahman. Oops. Right? So the ocean is real, the wave is an illusion. Then you say, hey, hold on, the wave is the ocean, right? This is Advaita, see, not to wave and the ocean. Not to self and phenomenon, right?
Mm.
Are we getting there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the first time I've heard this, but sometimes it's not easy to understand this meaning. It's not real because it feels like something.
But the meaning as I disappear, the mind, let's say, as mine remains, see, as a tool, as an instrument, right? As a functioning, right?
Yeah.
No longer as I, right? As a self,
Yes.
just thought.
Yeah.
Even if you lose your ego sense for the practicality of the matter, life itself, you will identify yourself, you will refer yourself as the body, I, hello, right?
Yeah.
But there is no identity with the body.
Yes.
And the body is not feel separate from yourself as the self. You can't separate. This is Advaita. No separation, no duality, not two. Right? This is the meaning of this. There's no I and you. There's no I and you. If body is I, then appears number one. See, that's the first person that arises, right? When the first person appears, then you, second one, right? Two. And these are thoughts. See, I and you is thought. The I and you don't exist. See, only I and I. See, is you add one more, see, to the ego, and then it's 2, 3, 4. See, in this case, I plus I is I, not 2. I plus you is 2. See,
Yeah. I'm a bit confused.
the illusion is I, and the reality is I. They are not 2. The ocean is I, and the wave is I. They are not 2. So if we use the word subject to refer to the absolute, right? And we use the word object to refer to the seen, the known, right? Body, mind, energy, and so on. So the subject is I, the object is I, not 2. I am consciousness, the world is consciousness, not 2.
Yeah.
But when you hear me or someone else, or when you read anywhere, does not exist, right? That doesn't mean that it is not there. The wave doesn't exist. There is no wave. There is only the ocean. There is no denial of the wave. That is not there. That is not there as separate from the ocean. Therefore, is the ocean. Is there as the ocean, right? So body, mind, energy, which is phenomenon collectively, right? It's not there, means it doesn't exist separately, independently, right?
Yes.
So they exist as the self, not as a second entity, much less as a separate entity.
Yeah.
Mhm. Is to say the hair doesn't exist. The hair is the body, right? You can't separate the hair from the body, right? So if the hair is the body, right? Then there is only the body, it's not hair. Same. The ring and the gold, same analogy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
There is no ring, there is no chain, right? There is no necklace, there is only the gold, right? Name, ring. Form, round. Cylinder, see? In reality, there is only the nameless gold, the nameless, formless gold. See, only the nameless, formless reality. So if you see as the ring, then you will see multiple jewels everywhere, right? If you see as the gold, you see only gold. See, you see only yourself, right? Same thing.
I think before New Year, I heard you say on one satsang, some people feel, maybe I'm guilty, not guilty, but I feel sometimes like this. We have to be thoughtless all the time. But it's not about that. It's about understand, like.
Thoughtless means egoless, not
Sorry?
egoless. To remain free from body identity, not free from. You need the mind for the practicality of daily life, right? Maybe not for everything, but some knowledge is necessary, right? Right.
But I'm saying, but before realization, in order to realize, it's not like we have to be in the thoughtless state 24 hours a day or something like that.
Remember, the thoughtless state is called the egoless state.
Yes.
You need that split second, because what you are is even beyond thoughtless state. Thoughtless state is a state of mind. Thoughtless state, when not even the thought I is there, is called samadhi. It's a mental state. And that leads to the recognition that there is something there, right? Witnessing thoughtless state. And the thoughtless state makes you become aware of the fact that you are that which is witnessing. Are you following? That you are the witness. And you realize, in the same way that the ocean cannot witness the wave, right? Because they are not two. You see, there is nothing separate from the witness. Then the idea of witnessing also disappears. And that is realization. Even the idea of being the witness disappeared, because if I am the witness, it's a thought, right? And that implies I am not what I witness. Still, we have to, right? If I am the illusion, I say I am not the reality. If I say I am the reality, I say I am not the illusion, right? If illusion and the reality are one, and then what am I not? This is the state of the absolute not knowing. That's the meaning of simply being. Not being a being, simply being, right? So the thoughtless state leads to what is beyond the thoughtless state. After that, when you are fully convinced, right, of being the witness, right, then the mind is no longer a problem, right? The way you think will change, right? Because the ego is gone from the thought process and is gone from the activity. The activity is no longer based on the ego sense, right? It's spontaneous. There's no expectation about anything, about any result, about the desires, all that goes away. Ego goes away, desire goes away, tendencies goes away. What remains is the knowledge that is necessary for you to be able to communicate, right, to function in life, right? And the intellect remains in a very subtle way. See, you have to discriminate right and left, bread, chapati, whatever, right? Coconut chutney or coriander chutney. That's all, right? I and you, hello, I'm here. See, who ordered the coconut chutney chapatis? I, see?
Masala dosa.
Or masala dosa, whatever it is. It's just for the practicality of it. But this is thought. It's just not real at all. It's thought. And then these thoughts and this action leaves no imprint, right? Right? Like when you write on the water, right? That there is a movement, right? Produced by the finger. But then there is nothing left printed on the water. No karma, it's called that. It produces no further anything.
Because I know I've heard you say in the past, don't think about progress because progress is for the ego, but it's kind of natural we'll think sometimes along the lines of progress. It just happens because maybe in my case, I think progress is very slow. Like mine's still oscillating a lot. I understand what is you're saying. I think I understand what is inquiry, but there's still a lot of oscillation back and forward, back and forward.
I used to say that if you want to...
Sometimes it gets tiring.
Yeah, because inquiry is done by the mind and it is about the mind.
Yeah.
And there is already witnessing of the mind, it is already happening, and witnessing is already effortless. And you are already that effortless existence. See? You exist effortlessly as witnessing. But there is no effort really in inquiring about the mind. But I believe I am the mind, then I am making an effort to stop the mind.
You were going to say something someone used to say to you or something?
Progress means that is measuring the amount of thoughts. Less thoughts, more progress.
Mhm.
But then just think less about progress. The more you know that who are you, right? The less you think about progress. That doesn't mean that you will not, I don't know, that you are working on something or you do exercises, for example. Suppose that you do yoga, right? And the body is more flexible and more strong and healthy, right?
Yes.
There is improvement in a physical condition, but there is no improvement in yourself. Let's put it in that.
Yes.
Hmm.
Self is not making progress.
Yeah.
The mind is
Yeah.
becoming less
Yeah.
strong.
You can improve your skills, you can improve your wealth, you can improve your health, right? A technique, but you cannot improve yourself because yourself is already perfect.
Mm. Then how can it be so hidden? That is what I don't understand. How can it be so hidden or so difficult? I don't know to see this.
That's the power of the mind, Romy. I remember, well, I read this in one of Ramana's books. It was doing like this. See? I said, look at that. The thumb, so tiny, and yet it can cover the sun, right?
Yeah.
So it is the mind. It's so powerful. It can cover the reality.
Mm.
The illusory power that exists in the self is so powerful that it can even cover the self, hide it.
Because, for example, when I've been these last few days with a little bit fever and unwell, actually, mind is like this. You can't really. Mind is just going. Even Hayden told me when he was also with fever, mind is racing. Do you understand what I mean or not?
Okay.
It will be very easy and we can't do anything about it.
Just ignore it.
Just ignore it and let it go, basically.
When you talk, the mind is doing this, the mind is doing that. I'm referring to something that I see. What I have to understand that it is something that I see, but it's not I.
But what I was going to say is that made me feel my mind is not actually dying. It's still very much because with the slightest weakness in me, when I can't concentrate, it's coming back into.
Yeah, maybe a powerful illness. And because the idea of you being the body that is ill makes the mind go bananas. See?
No, it's not like that. It's somehow some physical thing in the brain, I think, from this. It's not like I'm. Huh?
It's the same story. It's body identity. So as long as you believe the body is I, then the mind goes on and on.
Yeah.
So as long as you see the mind as not I. See it as you see a passing cloud or a bird or something external.
Okay, I fully agree with you, but when I'm well, and have enough energy and alertness to concentrate, we can say.
But
Yes.
what effort do you need to see the mind?
So?
What effort do you need to see the mind? If it is active, you see it. If it is not.
Okay, But
See,
I'll see it for some second, and then I'll be absorbed in it again.
that's different. That is different. So the idea is recognize it as not I.
Yeah, but it will happen for some second. I can see. Then again, I'm in it. Then I'll see again, and then again, I'm in it.
That's fine. That's how it works. Until you know permanently the mind is not I. And the way of thinking disappears. The way of thinking change. The way to think changes. You will think only if it is necessary. If it is
Yeah.
not, you will not think. So the mind becomes. It doesn't become. See, it is your servant. It's your instrument.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to make an effort to think when it's necessary or not thinking when it's not necessary. Right? It's like a secretary. If you need it, it comes, does something for you, right? And when it finishes the job, it goes back to the cubicle, see? And you don't even see her, right? Is that
Yes.
the cubicle, right? If it is,
Yes.
it comes and takes notes and remind you of something, see, buy bread, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to make an effort to think or not to think. To know something or not to. If you need to know something, you will know it. If not, you will not. If you need knowledge that you don't have already, it will reveal itself because all knowledge is within the all-knowing absolute existence, right? So that's the end of warning. And what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, what is going to happen, nothing. It's spontaneous, right?
Like automatic
Exactly.
pilot or something.
Exactly. In fact, when the mind is quiet, you will find that everything is already happening spontaneously.
Yeah.
But the manifestation is spontaneous.
Yeah.
Here it is. The manifestation is spontaneous. And witnessing is effortless. So there is no space for somebody, even the absolute, doing something spontaneously. See? It's not. The idea of doing, right, from any point of view, disappears. In the same way, you will never see the ocean making waves. But you don't see the movement of making it, right? It's just the wave arises spontaneously in the ocean, right?
Yes.
You can create any story about the reasons and all that stuff, but there is none. It's just happened. It's like if you see a swan flying over a lake, right? You will see the reflection of the swan on the lake. The swan is not reflecting itself on the lake, and the lake is not trying to reflect the swan. It's just the way it is, right? It's just right spontaneously. All that is set.
But I can say my doing right now is also spontaneous, but I feel I'm doing. But the difference is you're doing also happening spontaneously, and you realize it's spontaneous.
This is because the thought I is there. See?
Yeah.
I am the body, I am doing it. And because I did it, I expect a particular result. Or I don't expect this particular result. See?
Yes. Then sometimes the question will arise, if for you everything happening spontaneously, why problems coming and this type of thing? We feel it should come like all flow or something.
Yeah, but this is what I was talking about. Everything will flow. Define flow. You may have a very nice idea about what flows is. I have to remove three, how you call, wisdom tooth, right?
Yes.
You let it flow. See, you let the hand of the doctor to flow and remove. See, so there's an idea that out of the outcome of self-realization is a particular life which is pleasant when everything is on. Look at the life of Jesus, see, Socrates, Ramanites himself, right? Krishna or Rama, it was a nightmare, right? Full of troubles and ups and downs because such is life. That's the nature of this, right? It's made out of both, right? Everybody faces troubles, avatars, all of it. So this is the nature of the that's the nature of this.
Yes.
And that is the nature of that, right? And this and that are one and the same. It basically comes down to that.
Okay.
Everything flow with pain, right? Flow with the pain. Nobody wants to flow with the pain. I want to flow with the pleasure on, right?
Of course, it's normal. Okay. I'm sorry to everyone, I'm talking English. I don't know if they can understand that.
No problem. There is no talk on English talk or Russian talk. So it depends upon the language. So it is.
Yeah, sure. But nowadays, mostly Spanish, isn't it?
For some reason, it's funny. No? Before it was mostly Russians.
Yeah.
Russians disappear and it's mostly Spanish.
It's good. Nice.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Speaking people are there, but
No, I'm sure Spanish people need someone they can speak in their own language.
you know me from basically from when I started doing this, right? But I already had like 2-3 years doing it. But we met in Tiruvannamalai and there was barely any Spanish speaking people in the talks, right?
Yeah.
English speaking people, Russian speaking people. The Russian group was huge. Yeah.
Mhm.
Popularity is a funny thing.
Mhm.
My country will say when there are new saints, the old ones doesn't do any more miracles.
Mhm.
Whatever the reason it was.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you very much.
How is Hiran?
He's okay. He's good. Yeah.
Morning walk, beach walk?
Yeah. Morning walk. Yes.
In my regards to him.
I will. Yeah. Okay.
We experience one's natural state effortlessly now and then during the day. But it is overlooked. Sometimes we are not thinking without making any effort.
Right.
And when we are not thinking, the me is absent. So it is irrelevant because I am not there. Right?
Yes.
The absence of me is overlooked somehow.
Mm. Sometimes it's happened only like occasionally to me, but if you're kind of been going into sleep, but then you wake, you feel like really irritated because you feel like some real peace. has been lost. It's like, but that, when I was asleep, I wasn't aware of that peace. It's when you wake, you realize you were in that deep peace or something.
You are that peace. And you were experiencing it, but not as an individual. You were the peace that was enjoying itself. See? The only thing that you know, you don't know anything. See, the only thing that you know is that you are, but you are that peace. But when you wake up and the body identity takes place, you recall that as an experience, right? And it is a memory. And apparently somebody remembers. See, what was not there, it claims to be the one that remembers, but it was not experiencing because it was dissolving that peace. In deep sleep, we know nothing but oneself, but it's not clear. This is why it can become clear in the awakening state of being that.
Yes.
It is that. It's right here, right now. It's always there, and we are always that. The mind creates an idea of otherwise, right?
Oh, sure. Yes.
So we are the self, but also we rise as ego, right? This one doesn't arise, doesn't set. This one doesn't get manifested, see? Something manifests, but it is also I, right? So we know only ourselves as the illusion. We don't know ourselves as a reality, right? When you know yourself as a reality, then you have the full picture. This is I and this is I, because they are not two. All that collectively is I. I.
Big I.
Yeah, the only I. There's no big I and a small I. The only one. There's no false self and real self. There is only one self. That's all there is. The more you understand that you are that the logic will, until certain extent, see, discrimination, logic, reasoning will lead you to know I am that already. Then less effort you make because you cannot know that you are that if you're making an effort. Mental. Mind has to be still, means making no effort.
Okay, naturally still, yes.
And naturally becomes naturally still when we hear, right, what is the nature of the mind and what is the nature of the self, right? And something inside begins to, yes, right? Yes. Because when you hear this begins to reflect your day-to-day, moment-by-moment experience. There is thought. How do I know there is thought? Because I see this thought. What do I do to see this thought? Nothing, right? It's just the seeing of the thought is there, right? If I see the thought, I'm listening, see, if something begins to, yes, it's true. And then more you understand this, see, less the question about practice, effort, or even inquiry arises. This is why this has to be repeated, see, again and again and again and again. He says, only when you listen the truth with somebody that knows it, then you can realize it. It's not by any of your efforts or practices, it's by grace. This is grace. Listening, the truth is an act of grace. And then that grace itself makes realization to happen by grace, not by any of one's effort. I remember Baba says, what is the only thing that you cannot get by yourself? Nobody knew the answer, and he says, grace. Because it's already there, right? And you are that grace. See, the grace that we want to fall upon ourselves is what we are. Sorry?
And I asked about the grace.
You want to ask about grace?
Right.
No, no.
I mean, there is a kind of a concept, like of synergy. I guess you heard
Of?
synergy. Like there is a grace which
Synergy is a guru, which is a sinner.
no,
Synergy.
no, synergy means it's like from the point of like the man
Yes.
we as we considering ourselves as man,
Yes.
doing an effort to accept, like to take the grace. That's the only effort we need to do.
How can you achieve grace by effort?
Not, but this,
How can you achieve
this
what is
doesn't-
already there?
it means like you're not achieving it, you need just to accept it.
Who is going to accept the grace? I accept the grace if it is not there, and then somebody brings it to me now, and I accept it, but grace is always there. Grace is another name for you, for the self.
But I have also that what he just said. Yeah, we do have that concept. We have to make our practice, our sadhana, this and that, and when we've done enough, grace will fall on us. That is a concept.
Hey, you practice anything if it's not because of grace. Even seeking for grace is because of the grace, right?
Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
Grace is always there. Is the source of everything, right? The grace is another name for the absolute. Ramana says, the fact that you're looking for the self, which is grace, is an act of grace. So when the grace is absent, ever.
Yes, I got it. Yeah. But for example, if something really good happens, some real good circumstances, right timing, right people, connections, we'll think, oh, wow, that was really grace. But then when it's going not so good, should we also think this is grace? It's not so easy.
No. See, the fact that I went through whatever I went through in life, see, it was a mix. People say that, some people say, some sages say that the self is realized for two reasons, right? One, the person is naturally inquisitive, see, pays attention. By nature is observes, right? introspective, right? Or by some traumatic events that produce the search. In my case, was kind of a mixture of the two. So the fact that I went through hell, so to speak, okay, it's an act of grace, see, so I can know what grace actually is. Otherwise, you will never raise the question, see, if you are, maybe yes, it's possible, but it's very rare that somebody seated, right, in a comfortable life will ever have any existential questions, right? Now, if that person loses everything, right, it will raise the question, what the hell is this all about, right? The ego that believes to be in power, in control, will be humiliated, right? It will freak out. And perhaps will say, okay, then who am I? Then, how great I think I am, look, right? Or I have everything and suddenly an illness comes, right? And threatens my life, a cancer or something, right? You say, aha. See, how important am I? I am, see? How big I am. Like Alexander the Great, right? He became aware of that fact. And apparently he requested that when he was buried, some kind of a statue was built, right? It's two empty hands like that, saying, see, you get out of here without, you came empty-handed, you go empty-handed. So how great you think you are. Ramana Maharshi realized himself how? Experiencing the biggest fear that a human can have, which is fear of death. Right? So that triggered the inquiry. So that was an act of grace. We can't see these things at the beginning or along the way. Sometimes the so-called sages go through hell. Not necessary for them, but it's for the witness. See, the people around say, look at this man. Jesus, he lost everything. His fame, reputation, seekers, money, credibility. He looks okay, right? But this is what I'm seeking, actually. See, to feel like this, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Is to be what you are. What you are is unaffected by
Exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
phenomenon. So what we want is what we are. We just don't know it. So what we're seeking is what we are. We may not be aware of it yet at the beginning or even along the way. The bliss that we want is the bliss that we are. The permanent silent peace that we want, it is what we are. The self we want to realize is what we are. Now, if it is what I am, what shall I do to be what I already am? This understanding is what makes the mind to become wise. If this is what I am, what can I mentally or physically do to be what I am? Remember Ramana Maharshi said that there is a kind of devotee that when listen to the truth, the question about practice and effort simply does not arise. And they realize the self there and then. Some you don't need to tell anything or to hear anything, right? But both cases happens because of the physical presence of the so-called sage, right? But the grace is not coming through, no, it's not coming by the physical presence. The physical presence is like a hose where the grace flows. Because that body is empty. It's hollow. Of Krishna's flute. It does not, it's hollow, it does not interrupt the flow of the Krishna.
How is it possible to understand you and not at the same time? It's kind of on some informal level. Everything is like clear. But the mind probably is because of differentiation between mind and non-mind. Yeah. Because of the
See, when I listen to you, I have to hold myself because I begin to get dizzy. Because the way you put it is so complicated. What you're trying to say, how it is possible to understand you and at the same time don't understand you? Because it's the mind.
yes.
Yes. And see you tomorrow. Okay. So, see you. Nos vemos mañana. See you tomorrow. That's after. Lolita, hola. Ah,
You have good Russian.
thank you.
I mean, before it was worse. Now you have no accent. Nothing. Right? Tell me please, what's after?
That's after.
Maybe a little bit, but not much.
Good.